What's up everybody, with the end of the spring season, it's time for another seasonal recap and review. However, because I didn't do one for the winter seasons for various reasons, was just too lazy to do it, I will be doing a double seasonal recap and review. Now for anyone who hasn't watched my previous videos on the past seasons, link in the description below, I will be recapping and reviewing every single anime I finished and dropped during that season, with as little spoilers as possible. So with that stated, let's get started. Going way back into the year, we have Ancient Magus' Bride. This show really gave off the feeling of pure wonders and mysterious views you had as a kid when you thought about magic, showing off a world where there's magical creatures all around you, and the only people who can see them are the special ones. God, what a great world to live in. Now, moving on to the main plot of the series, we follow the story of Keisei, a 15-year-old girl from Japan, with not the best childhood. But then after meeting Elias, who by the way bought her for £5 million to be his wife, this was the start of a great story of Keisei learning to be happy with her life and letting go of the past. I was so enthralled by everything that was happening in the show, with all the mystical scenes going on to all the chibi comedy bits. For God's sake, it's even my Google theme. That's how much I love this show. First of all, if you haven't seen or heard about March Comes in Like a Lion, then what are you doing? Go finish this video, then go watch all of March Comes in Like a Lion, cause it is such an underrated anime. I would put it in my top 10 favorite animes of all time. And the second season was even better than the first, giving us such amazing symbolism and animation that I always loved from season 1. But my favorite thing about this season is that they gave us so much more development and growth to every character in the show, especially the side characters. And every time, it just hit me right in the feels. But it also makes you reflect on yourself and question who you really are deep inside. Now, I can go forever and ever talking about March Comes Like a Lion, so let's just move on to the next series. With Overlord Season 2, a lot of people were a little disappointed with the sequel, and I can't lie, I'm in the same boat with everyone else. This season of Overlord gave off a lot of world building, which in theory should be really interesting to learn about. However, the whole thing just felt awkward, slow, and out of place. I've even talked to people who read the manga for this part, and they said they had the same feelings in the manga. I mean, everyone just wanted to see Ainz be a total badass, overpowering everyone. But alas, we didn't see that. A great way I like to explain this is that the manga is a fatty piece of steak, and the anime's job is to cut off the excess fat to create a good balance between everything. Can you tell I was really hungry when making the script? But anyway, hopefully season 3 will do a better job doing that. School Babysitters is just a jumble of joy full of the most adorable babies I've ever seen in my life. Just look at this scene. And just like that, I have diabetes. The story revolves around the characters Kotaro and Ryuichi, orphan brothers who were taken in by the chairman of a pristine high school, where Ryuichi had to become the member of the school babysitters club in order to live with the chairman. The whole series in general is just episodic, so it's just a good series to watch a random episode here and there to get a good smile on your face. At first I thought Love is Like After the Rain was going to be a really weird romance, given the fact that the synopsis said that a protagonist Akira, a high school student working part-time at a family restaurant, starts to develop feelings to the manager, a 45-year-old divorced man with a kid. And just from that, you would probably go, wait, what? But honestly, the show was very mature about their relationship, not making it super creepy or immature, but truthfully, it was one of the best things that could ever happen to them. Wait, it's not in that way. This relationship was eye-opening to the two. They inspired each other and helped them realize that it's never too late to pursue their passions. And in the end, they helped each other get back on the path to their dreams. Imagine you had an item that can stop time whenever you wanted, and you could do almost anything you want. However, if you have the intent to kill anybody who's frozen in time, then the hell will come after you. This is the world of Kokaku. The story goes like this. The family with the all-almighty item had some of their family members taken, but with not enough time to save them, they used the item. However, this was all a trap, because they were not the only ones roaming around in stop time. This synopsis really interested me, and hopefully all of you too. But what I find most interesting is our main villain. He was very meticulous, calm-headed, and extremely smart. The villain was definitely the most interesting part of the show. Just trying to figure out how his brain works was so fascinating, and hopefully you give the show a shot. Violet Evergarden is undoubtedly my favorite anime of winter of 2018, and I've already given my thoughts and opinions about Violet Evergarden in my debate video against A Place Further in the Universe. So let me just say this to try to convince you to watch Violet Evergarden. This show will put you in a roller coaster of emotions, with fun cheerful moments to quick dips of sadness. They will make you so emotionally attached to Violet that you would only want the best for her, and nothing less. Also, look at this art animation, it's just beautiful. It can't be beat. A Place Further Than the Universe was such an inspiration to everyone by showing us one of the most purest examples of wanting to explore and making the most out of your life. Everyone can say that they will explore the world or do something crazy in their life, but they always put it off for another time. However, these 4 high school girls actually executed it. It makes us reflect on ourselves and wonder, what have I actually done in my life so far? And did I actually just waste my youth? But what I think makes A Place Further in the Universe so great are its characters. We have Mari, who is a quirky and goofy girl that will always make you laugh and will never give up on you. Hinata, our up-and-go-lucky girl who will always try to lighten up the mood of every room she enters. Yuzuki, the girl who is the most precious and just want to make a ton of friends, who by the way is #bestgirl. And finally, Shirase, the one with the most determination and was the hardest working girl to achieve her goal. You can really relate to all of them, and that's my point, because they're all just normal people, just like you. So go out there into the world and find your Antarctica. With Pop Team Epic, you would either love the show and be laughing your brains out, or you hate the show and can't see the humor in any scene. For me, I'm on the side of loving the show, and for sure I've had moments of laughing my guts out. And here's my reason of why the show is so good. The show knows it's a piece of trash, and it's totally embracing it by pushing everything to the limit. The extreme randomness of the show just feels like we're diving deep into the sick minds of Japanese commercial makers, and they're just genius for basically replaying the same episode twice but with male or female voice actors, just to say it's a 20-minute anime. God, this show is just a joke, and I love it for that! Darling in the Franxx was one of the most talked about anime of this season, except for My Academia. The show had an amazing start, having a really interesting theme of what it really means to be human, showing us that our emotions, our individuality, our desire to fight on, our love to the people all around us, and that one day it will all come to an end, is what defines us as humans. However, around the final episodes, the series really went downhill by adding in random aliens out of nowhere, and then we start fighting in space? I was so disappointed. They had such a good thing going, but overall I don't hate the series because they still kept the theming throughout the story, and people will be arguing if Darling in the Franxx was really good or not for a while. Also, a fun thing I'd like to point out is that 02 is WEM 2.0 of 2018. I mean, they both try to kill our protagonist, they both have horns, both are a little crazy, and they're both really hot. So... #waifu.
ダーリン、僕のダーリンのこと、ダーリンのナグのダーリンなんだからさ、ダーリン。ああ、飛ぼう、ダーリン。
なぜ傲慢の罪、ライオン真の
Seven Deadly Sins' new season started off really good, meeting all our expectations and getting all the awesome fights we ever wanted, and to see our lovely cast on the screen finally again. However, during the final few episodes, the anime went downhill, not adapting the manga correctly, making scenes that should have been super epic and suspenseful just seem mundane and normal. So if this series gets a 3rd season, I hope they pick up the slack. The 4th season of Yomoshichi Peter was like every other season of Yomoshichi Peter, but in the best way possible. We got to see all the amazing animation, the intense sprints to the finish line, and all the determination to never give up and just look forward. I'm so disappointed that Yomoshichi Peter is such an underrated sports anime, so if you have time, go pick up the show and give it a shot.
教会はでかい神様は不公平俺たちは指くわいつもどん底で使い捨てでほしい
I fucking loved Megalobox. And I know there's a good amount of people complaining how it looks like an anime made 20 years ago, but that's the point. It's nostalgic. Bring me back to my childhood of watching late 90s and early 2000s anime. Megalobox is not your typical sports anime where it's high school kids with supernatural powers and cheesy power-ups for believing in your teammates. No. Megalobox is the real deal. There were real-life risks at stake, not just some silly tournament to go to nationals. Joe was risking his life every time he got into the ring, and if he ever lost, he would have to become a slave in someone else's ring. This show got me so hyped every week with all the suspense and pure badassery, but what really put the show over the top was the music. Each track was placed in beautifully to frame and enhance the mood of every scene, so if you're going to watch a sports anime, watch Megalobox. At first I thought Hina Matsui was going to be a serious anime, where we're going to see Hina do some devious stuff with her powers, seeing how one of our main characters, Nita, is part of the Yakuza. But that thought could have not been thrown out of the window any quicker. Hina Matsui is surprisingly both really funny and also really heavy on the emotions. I found myself crying from both laughter and sadness. The comedy of the show is just A+ work, and it's right up my alley. Having our characters' reactions to things be so absurd, but also kinda reminding me of One Punch Man. Then also having our characters in such insane scenarios that it becomes hilarious. But there is also the episodes that hit you right in the feels, where they can make you realize how much you've been taking things for granted your whole life, and help you learn to appreciate everything around you. Also, final note, Anzu is a pure angel, and if anyone tries to mess with her, then you can just die in a ditch. Listen, let's just get the elephant out of the room here first. Yes, I know the 3D animated bear and fire looks awful. I think everyone in the world knows it's awful. But everything else about the art and animation is actually pretty good. So I don't know why they chose to do it that way. But whatever. Now, back to the review. We follow Sugimoto, a soldier who survived the Russian-Japanese War, and he is in need of some cash. After hearing about the story of the great hidden stash of gold, he is determined to find it no matter what, traveling all around Hokkaido and also becoming partners of an Ainu girl. Now, this show has a lot of gore in it, and I love it. Literally in one episode we see a bear whip a guy's face off. But what I find most interesting about the show is learning about the culture of the Ainus. Seeing how they used to live their lives back in the 1900s is so fascinating to me, and major props to getting someone who can actually speak their language. Lastly, get hyped because the second season of Golden Kamuy will be coming out this fall. I know I'm excited.
広高も男であること。そして、下着はベージュであること。
I am a sucker for romance series, and Love is Hard for an Otaku was the best romance of this season. So many times you would watch a romance series in the setting of a high school, but in Love is Hard for an Otaku, we're far past that time. Our cast of characters are full-grown adults working office jobs. It gave us such a nice change of pace, but what I love most about this series is how well all our main cast of characters interact with each other. There was a different type of otaku for everyone to relate to. We had the gaming otaku, the manga fanatic, the cosplayer, and the fujoshi. Wow, now that I'm saying it out loud, it's kinda weird calling a person's preference a type. Anyway, even if you took out the element of all of them being otakus, they would still be really relatable characters, getting to see them all act friendly, kind, goofy, stubborn, and funny. The last thing I can say to convince you all is that the childhood friend finally wins, everybody. Woo! We did it, boys! Tada Never Falls in Love took such a realistic approach to the romance, and what I mean by that is our main love interests didn't fall in love with each other instantly. No, their feelings for each other developed over a long period of time. We saw them laughing, drink coffee together, hang out with friends, share personal stories, and inspire each other to never make the same mistake again. Because of these two meeting, they both changed for the better. For Tada, he finally realized it's okay to put himself before others once in a while. And then for Teresa, she learned to truly have fun in her life and not be so fixated on what will happen in the future. I really enjoyed the journey of our characters went through, and I'm glad that the show was wrapped up in a nice little bow with a happy ending. Piano no Mori was my hidden gem this season, and sadly it didn't get the recognition it should have had. Thanks a lot, Netflix. The story goes like this. We meet two boys, Shuhei and Kai, who learn the piano on two totally different ends of the spectrum. We have Shuhei, who was born into a family of pianists, basically learning the piano the moment he was born. Then there is Kai, who learned by playing an abandoned piano in the middle of the forest ever since he was young. They soon become rivals and it turns into a battle of individuality versus playing the music by the sheets, and it becomes clear so quickly that Kai is far superior to Shuhei. Kai's performances brought out such emotions and could transport you to anywhere he wanted. I was so mesmerized every time Kai played, and even if he was 3D animated, it didn't affect my pure enjoyment of watching him play. Luckily for me, and for anyone else who enjoyed the show, the second season will be airing in the winter of 2019. I can't wait.
いいんだってば
おいって
ツッツーのせいでこうなってるんだよバカ
3D Girlfriend was honestly not that great of a show. The only reason I actually finished it was because there was not many other animes coming out on Tuesdays. So let me get this one over with really quickly. Our main protagonist is your run-of-the-mill otaku, but then out of nowhere he gets a girlfriend. This relationship helped develop our character to become more of a normie, and it was actually kinda nice to see. However, they also try to give relationships to all the other side characters, but I just didn't care about it, and that's because it felt like they just tossed it in there for filling up time. So in the end, I don't hate it and I don't like it, it's just in the middle. Now it's time to get to all the animes I dropped during these 2 seasons, and like in every other video, this is going to happen in a lightning round. Let's get to it. Tiny Little Life in the Woods was okay and it was really cute, but after a couple episodes I could see it's just the same thing. Same thing with Skill Little Teaser Little Tanagaka-san. It was really cute to see the dude be baffled all the time, but oh come on. With Citrus, I don't mind Yuri, but the women seem super generic to me. With Deviline, the vampires seemed really stupid and it just seemed really edgy. But for the edgelord of all of them, Magical Girl Sight. Magical Girl Sight was like the edge king of edge kings. It was really bad and I just can't take it anymore. Okay guys, I am finally done with reviewing and recapping all the animes I've ever seen and dropped from these past 2 seasons. So what do you think of all my reviews? I make these videos because for any people who are not caught up on anything seasonally, or maybe wants to be introduced to any new animes, this is why I do these videos. But hopefully you all enjoyed the content, let me know in the comments below. But anyway guys, I'll see you all in the next video.